Welcome to the Hardline Curling Show. It's another busy week on the pebbled ice. On this episode, we'll take a closer look at a national championship that's going on this week and talk to a front-end legend who's providing some of the commentary. Plus, we'll get you set for the third Grand Slam of the season. The broom is down, so let's settle into the hack and get started. Local curling clubs are the lifeblood of the sport, but did you know there's a national championship for club-level curlers? The Everest Curling Club Championships are taking place this week in Barrie, Ontario. Since 2009, each province and territory has sent one men's and one women's rank from its member clubs to compete for the title of Canada's best club team. Only one team per club is given entry to the provincial playdowns, and clubs can send any team they wish, typically the club champion. To be eligible, teams can only have at most one player who's competed in a provincial men's, women's, or seniors event or Grand Slam tournament in the current season or previous one. 25 different clubs are represented among the 28 past champions, which just goes to show how wide open the competition can be. If you're looking for teams to watch this year, keep an eye on Ontario's men's foursome from the Richmond Hill Curling Club. 3 members of that team, including skip Jordan Keon, claimed the title in 2022. On the women's side, Carol Webb's crew from the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick are looking to become the third different rank from that province in as many years to take home the hardware. The action kicked off on November 18th. If you'd like to get caught up, you can watch past games for free on Curling Canada's YouTube channel, which will also be streaming the playoffs and finals this weekend. Now let's take a look at some highlights from earlier in the week. And when we come back, we'll talk to 3-time Brier champ Brent Laing.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Mo. The moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Our first guest is one of the voices you'll be hearing at the Club Championships live stream. Brent Laing is one of the most decorated front-end players in the game with a resume that includes 3 World Men's Championships, 3 Brier titles, and a Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship. He's currently the coach for Mike McEwen's team and throwing on the broadcaster's headset from time to time, including this week. Brent, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Taylor. Sorry. We're broadcasting now right in between games, Barrie Curling Club, Everest Club Championship, which has been great. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. You obviously have your hands full, but as for the Club Championships, this is year 15. Can you sort of give us an overview of what this event means?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think, and I might be biased because I've been involved now for the last few years with Everest, but I think this is maybe the most fun curling event there is going these days. It still has the competitive nature, you represent your province or territory, still has the social aspect afterwards. Anything Everest does is world class. They always make sure there's a hospitality room, and it's just awesome to see, the regular club curlers that aren't putting their whole life on hold to chase the super competitive stuff, that there's still a place to be competitive and represent your province, have you see the families out watching. It's awesome.
It certainly is good competition. Why do you think it's important to hold an event like this on an annual basis?
Well, I think that anytime we can showcase our sport, not just at the elite level, but as a place where everybody's welcome, as a place where, camaraderie is still alive. And, I think it's part of what's really special about our sport is that, you travel the world and you go into a curling club and, it's just going to be a welcoming place. So, and then you see, the Briers changed, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse. That's a whole other podcast. But the club championship is still that it starts at the club level. Regular guys and gals have a chance to represent their province, and I think it adds some excitement when you see, a local buddy of yours or a club member going to put on the Ontario jacket or the Quebec jacket, whatever it might be.
Yeah, we sort of talked about the prerequisites to get in. You can't be on a current team that's doing the circuit, but there's still a lot of high-level curlers. Can you give us a sense of just how good the competition is at an event like this?
Yeah, I mean, I've done probably 5 or 6 draws this year, and then the last couple of years we've done it, and every province is responsible for making their rules. So certain provinces, depending on what they decide, but a good example is Team Saskatchewan. Aaron Schuter's the skip, and if he had won that tiebreaker at the Tankard last year, he would have been banned from this event for 5 years. Whereas the Nunavut guys, they've all been to multiple Briers. You look over New Brunswick, Jeff Lacey, Peter Case. I mean, I've played them in a handful of Briers. So it depends. It goes province to province. So I don't know all of the rules for all of the provinces and territories, but the idea is that there's still a place where regular jobs, family, everything else, and they still get a chance to go out and play there once or twice a week and win the club championship and go on to something. I kind of liken it to the RBC Scramble in golf, which is a similar idea, but our advantage is we don't have to have handicaps. Mm-hmm. That's too easy to cheat.
You've obviously been involved in the elite, sort of side of things for a long time. What's it like to sort of come back to the roots, I guess, if you want to call it that?
Yeah, this reminds me of kind of our first Briers in a lot of ways. I mean, you walk in and there's no doubt you're at a Canadian championship. You see all the different colors of the provinces and territories. There's still that camaraderie, on and off the ice, the hospitality room, all those things that have really disappeared from the Brier and the Scotties. And it's not by accident. A guy named Randy Furby is really... Not that he's kind of in charge of these events, and they're kind of his and Mark Duffy, two guys that love curling as much as anybody. I mean, Mark Duffy definitely loves curling more than anybody else in Houston, Texas, which is where he lives. but they love that part of the game, and so they make sure that remains a part of it. And for better or for worse, it's just not a part of it at the top level the way it used to be, because it's too hard to be competitive. The teams, the players have gotten too good. So it's not a diss against the game. I think it's great. It's become more of an Olympic sport. But at the same time, we don't want to lose where we came from. And I think this holds on to that. This is becoming what the Brier and Scotties used to be.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. What's it like for you to throw on the headset and call a few games?
It's fun. I mean, I don't know. It's I love the game. I always have, and that's part of why I put so much of my time and effort into it. And it's fun for me. I've done some with my wife, with Jennifer, and now I've been fortunate enough to find myself as part of the streaming broadcast crew with the curling group at the Grand Slams, which is the best curling on earth. So I just love talking about curling, and the fact that there's a headset on, I just got to remember to watch my mouth a little bit more. But other than that, it's kind of what I say when I'm watching curling, whether it's with my kids, my wife, my friends, and now I get to do it for games that are really fun to watch.
You have a good scene. When it comes to the Grand Slam versus the Club Championships, does your broadcasting style change at all, or do you have to do anything differently?
Not really. I mean, I think I can be a little bit more critical of maybe the Grand Slam players. I think they are more critical of themselves. We got to remember that the players we're watching this week are, they're not practicing as much as the elite. This isn't the best of the best of the best in the world. It's still very high level competition, but they're not putting their heart and soul into the game the way that maybe some of them once did, or maybe the way the top level does. But other than that, I mean, I've always thought as a commentator, if they want you to do it, they want your opinion. So I'm going to offer my opinion. It's not always going to be right. It's not always going to be in agreement with what's going on the ice. But I think that's part of what's beautiful about our game, is that there's really no right call, and there's always plenty of options. And I've always loved the strategy aspect of it, and that's no different here than at any different level.
You touched on it at the top, but what does the support for Everest do for this tournament? They've been involved a few years now. Can you just touch on the support of Everest?
Yeah, I mean, in one word, it's everything. They'll go above and beyond. They'll spare no expense to make sure that every single athlete here, every single fan, every single person involved feels like this is a world-class event. And they wouldn't put their name to it if it wasn't going to be world class. I know that because I've been involved for a number of years and been around, and so that's a big part of it. And just the vision of curling and grassroots and growing the game, and nothing's out of the realm of possibility when you sit down in a room with the Everest team. And I just love that idea that when somebody says, well, we can't do that, their first question is, well, why not? And if it's because we've never done it, that just makes them want to do it more. So they've, I think it was Dominion Insurance started this and became a great event, and then Everest has just taken it to a whole other level. And I think if you ask the players, because there's multiple players now that are coming back, not year after year, because that's against the rules, but I think if you ask them, they would say this was a great event, now it's the event.
Very cool. So you've been a coach, or you are a coach. You've been a high-level curler. You're a broadcaster. Do they have you making ice next? What else are you going to get
I don't
get busy with?
I don't know how to make ice. No, not at all.
Just everything else.
I just love the game, and I love to be a part of it. And Jen and I, when Jen stepped away from the women's game, we still play mixed doubles. I don't know how much longer that will last, but I don't see not being involved in curling some way. So I feel very fortunate that I've found myself in the broadcast booth on some of the streaming, and get to still be a part of the game and part of the camaraderie, and just part of curling. So I just love it.
Well, I appreciate your time. Everybody here at the Hardline Curling Show obviously loves curling. We made a show dedicated to curling, so we certainly get that. And we appreciate your time, Brent. Thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the week.
You bet. Thanks for having me, Taylor. Have a good one.
We're headed to a break. When we come back, we'll give you an update on the Coyote National.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Handcrafted in Canada. Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
The third event of the Grand Slam of Curling circuit is just around the corner as the Coyote National is set to kick off on November 26th with 16 men's and 16 women's teams converging on the Mary St. Brown Centre in St. John's, Newfoundland. Being on the Rock, of course, means that Brad Gushue will have plenty of support in the stands as the hometown product returns to the venue where he captured his first of 6 Brier titles for the first time since that victory in 2017. And home cooking may be just the thing to propel Gushue, who has won the event 4 times, back into the winner's circle after losing the final of each of the first 2 Grand Slams this season. It was Scotland's Bruce Mowat who defeated him on both occasions. And the 2018 Coyote National Champ will be the #1 seed as he looks to go 3 for 3 and strengthen the grip on the world #1 ranking. The defending men's champion Joe Returnes of Italy is seeded 4th. Meanwhile, on the women's field, it features 14 of the top 16 teams in the world rankings, including the winners of the first 2 Grand Slams this season, Carrie Anderson, who claimed the Hearing Life Tour Challenge, and #1 ranked Rachel Homan, who is coming off a win at the Co-op Canadian Open. Team Homan has won the National twice before, including the inaugural women's event in 2015, while Team Anderson has won previous title. However, the trophy has gone international in recent years, with the last 4 champions coming from outside of North America. Korea's Team Gim are the defending champs and return this year as the #3 seed, playing in the same pool as 2-time champion Anna Hasselborg of Sweden. Switzerland's Team Tiranzoni, winners 2 years ago in North Bay, Ontario, and currently the #2 rank in the world, should also contend for the title. Pool play begins November 26th, with the playoffs going on November 30th and the final scheduled for the following day. A reminder that you can watch the Everest Canadian Curling Club Championships by visiting Curling Canada's YouTube channel. The action is going on as we speak. See some of the top club curlers in the country, maybe even some from your home club, with commentary from some very knowledgeable folks, including Brent Laing. That about wraps up things for this week. Thanks again to Brent for sharing some time with us. If you would like to see your event featured on the show, just send us an email. Steven@iksmedia.com. Be also sure to follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date. Our next episode comes your way on November 29th. Until then, good curling.